Hello Aries, and welcome to your tarot card reading for August 2024. We're going to go ahead and get started here with a card from my astrology deck. So let's see what comes through for Aries for August. So we have South Node, Life's Debts. Okay. To me, this kind of feels like a rite of passage that actually these debts have been paid. And where there have been points, this is a South Node card, but in real astrology right now, you've got the North Node in your sign, okay? So it makes sense that actually you are in the process of making that transition, that there is something kind of clicking you out of this loophole, or not this loophole, but this like revolving door that you found yourself in. And you seem to be kind of making your way out. Now, this doesn't necessarily feel like it happens all at once, like in August, like, okay, it's done in August. It kind of feels like this is just beginning, and that there is some kind of quiet and dignified exit from that particular hamster wheel. I'm kind of getting a sense that there is this sense of relief that comes through with this as well. And it's kind of like, okay, I made it. Okay, we've done it. Okay, we paid our dues and now we're on to the next level. And it may feel like you've kind of graduated to some degree. You've graduated into the next realm. Now, again, I don't know that this is going to be some big, loud feeling or specific event that happens. I think it's just going to be kind of a really quiet, and for some reason the word dignified is coming through really loud and strong, like a really quiet and dignified transition into whatever comes next for you. So let's see what this deck has to say. We have empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. Honestly, I feel more like that empathy is you toward yourself. For some reason, I feel like there's a lot of forgiveness that needs to come through with this South Node card. And it might be that you're being a little bit hard on yourself right now. Like, why haven't I achieved this? Why haven't I made it? Why haven't I figured it out yet? Why haven't I gotten there yet? Kind of feels like Aries might be, kind of in that type of place. But I hope that you can offer yourself, a great deal of compassion, your past self and all of that, so that you can finally move on. I kind of, for some reason, the word that's really sticking out to me on this card, I know it's like the empathy card, but in the sentence it says, I am open to seeing both sides of a situation, but the word open is standing out really, really strong to me. So it's like right now, Aries is in a very open place, ready to receive, ready to, have that spark of brilliance, that's going to take them somewhere. It just feels highly receptive for me right now. Aries is highly receptive. Okay, what else does Aries need to know for the month of August? Okay. I'm wondering if this Nine of Coins is where you currently are, or if it's where you are wanting to be, maybe a little bit of both. Because I think on one hand, there is a lot for Aries to be grateful for. And I think if you were looking at your life, you'd be like, yeah, I do have a lot to be grateful for. Okay, I've got a good job. I've got a nice house. I've got a nice family. I've got a great spouse, whatever. Like there are a lot of things to be grateful for. And I think you really indulge in that gratitude, which is great. But I also know that there is this kind of leveling up that's going on, especially right now with this Mars-Jupiter conjunction that's happening over the next couple of weeks. And we're really going to start to feel that getting stronger and stronger through the first part of August. And I think Jupiter is always going to be that planet that's like, we need more. We got to learn more. We got to have more adventure. We got to buy more stuff. We got to level up the lifestyle. We got to take it up a notch. So I think maybe it's, it's a really balance of both. And I look at this Nine of Wands, but I'm kind of seeing resistance here for Aries. It's like, yes, you are paying off these debts, and yes, you have sort of, or are in this process of transitioning from a hamster wheel of some sort into some place where you are liberated from that hamster wheel. And yes, you are grateful. And like I say, this transition will be very dignified and almost elegant, if you will. But I am also seeing resistance. And it doesn't feel fearful. It doesn't feel insecure. But it does, I'm actually having a really hard time putting my finger on it in terms of like what this resistance is. And it feels more like anything like you're trying to keep something out. You're trying to keep something out, but in so doing, you are actually not really letting yourself out, if you will. So you could put up this sort of energetic wall on one hand to protect yourself, not realizing that you are just imprisoning yourself. And I think this is something, because I'm looking at this Ace of Cups and I'm still seeing you attracting things. I'm seeing good things coming your way. I'm seeing blessings, potential new love, potential opportunities that I think are really going to be things that make you happy, Aries. But there does seem to be either skepticism about it or something. And I think this is remnants of the hamster wheel that you were on before. Remnants because maybe paying life's debts, right, became a way of life. And maybe you didn't realize that was a kind of a ride that you could have exited at any time. Well, now you are exiting the ride, but you're still kind of dizzy from the ride because it had just been spinning and spinning and spinning. And this is you just trying to gain your bearings. I don't think you want to reject or resist this Ace of Cups. You want the Ace of Cups, but it's like it's gotten so comfortable energetically, mentally, in terms of the way your mind works to kind of keep things out like that. So I'm kind of, I'm seeing you, like I'm struggling with the Nine of Wands, and I feel like you're going to be struggling with that Nine of Wands. Because in a way, probably you were just trying to keep yourself safe at some point, right? And that mechanism of safety suddenly became your own concrete walls that you kind of put up around you, not realizing that you were putting yourself in a prison. Okay, so it's time for, I think, that wall to come down and for you to realize that that wall actually was built and that it's not as sturdy as you thought it was, or it's not as sturdy as it once was. But if you want to accept that Ace of Cups, you're going to have to do something about that Nine of Wands. You're going to have to do something about that wall because it is, it's not keeping you safe anymore. There's nothing for you to keep yourself safe from. Yeah, because I'm not perceiving any danger. I'm not perceiving anything for you to worry about. I'm only seeing really, really positive stuff. So when it comes down to it, that Nine of Wands is more harmful at this juncture. And I think you know that. I think you're highly conscious of it at this point. It's just going to be really hard for you to stop. But eventually the dizziness will dissipate. Eventually you'll kind of be able to see things straight a little bit. I do think you will ultimately end up taking that offering of the Ace of Cups. I think you will ultimately end up letting that good thing happen. Now, this could come through in terms of like, I'm feeling a lot of creativity, and I think that's because of the 5th house. So if it's like a business idea or some kind of, hobby or passion that you have, I feel like there's going to be something really positive for you in that particular area that can really lend itself to self-expression and allowing yourself to come out. And maybe it really is your self-expression that sets you free, right? Because if you start self-expressing, you're not going to be hiding behind that wall anymore, and you'll actually kind of maybe overcome whatever obstacle you have. So this is kind of like the saving grace, and it's what's ultimately going to kind of let the Eight of Wands happen, which is progress. You're going to start to really see a lot of movement. You're going to start to see things actually changing, actually evolving. You're going to see things moving in the right direction. And I think this is kind of, like I say, this card, I felt a sense of relief. And I think the relief is really found in the Eight of Wands, because it's like, okay, this is certainly not a hamster wheel by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, the Eight of Wands is from point A to point B. You're not going around in circles over here. Okay, you're officially crossing that ravine and making it to the next level. And I do see you leveling up, even from a Nine of Coins to an Empress. I'm kind of seeing you're graduating, right? That's why I said it feels like a rite of passage. Like there's something going on that's taking you from one level up to the higher level. There may be something, especially with this Empress coming out, regarding your sense of self-worth. Now, we don't have a lot going on in the second house at this point. We do have Uranus, and, Uranus will be slowing down throughout August. September 1st, it will station retrograde. Same day that Pluto re-enters Capricorn. So we have that whole thing going on. But I don't see a lot in terms of, but we did just have Mars come through last month, your second house. And so maybe Mars really put it at the forefront of like your self-esteem, your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-respect. All of that is really important if you want to ultimately succeed. And so now I see Aries really stepping into this, like, yes, I do absolutely value myself. I value and respect myself. And I'm going to treat myself like someone who respects themselves, because that's what the Empress does, right? She is a queen, she is royalty, and she will treat herself as such. And in so doing, she will demand that others treat her that way as well. And she earns respect easily because she treats everyone with respect. Okay, so there's this kind of notion, again, the word grace is also coming to mind very strongly, like having grace, being graceful. There's an elegance that's coming through here as well. I don't see this being sloppy or choppy or anything like that. I don't see it getting very messy. All I'm seeing is Aries coming into an awareness that, yes, there is some kind of a wall, that it was once a protection mechanism, and now that mechanism is no longer needed, and that the way out of that wall is through really showcasing yourself, expressing yourself, letting your ideas, your thoughts, your opinions out there in the world, especially with all the third house activity with Mars and Jupiter and Gemini in the third house. That's also adding on to that kind of like communicate, talk, express yourself, collaborate, work with people, that kind of thing. And I definitely see collaboration here with the Two of Cups. Now, there might be something like a partnership or a collaboration or a romantic partnership or something coming in for Aries that might be very inspiring. When this comes in, see, like these two are so intrinsically connected. It's like this comes in when you're ready to break free from this, but there's also like, but this is what's required in order to break free from this, right? So the Ace of Cups, the self-expression, the creativity, the new idea, the new connection, that is going to inspire you, I think, to really go bigger with what you're doing. Because I do see the Empress as being, certainly not hiding. That's for sure. The opposite of hiding. And it's like someone that you connect with, someone you have a conversation with, someone you have a romantic connection with, inspires you to express, inspires you to be yourself, inspires you to live in those Empress shoes, to live and walk according to the rules of the Empress, which is top tier treatment. Okay. And when I say top tier treatment, I'm not like spoiled little brat princess expecting people to do all these things for them. That's not what I'm talking about, right? We're talking about someone who looks for quality partnerships, who really enjoys seeing things from others' perspective. And now this card makes a little bit more sense, right? I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. So being really open to another's point of view, to another's life experience, and maybe taking what they have as something valuable for yourself to only make improvements for your life. See, I see you connecting with high quality individuals who really match you. They match you, they inspire you, they set you free. That's how all these cards are going to. This is a very windy story, I would say. Like, I don't feel like this is very linear. I feel like there are a lot of moving pieces that are dependent on one another. And for some reason, I feel like the story is kind of evolving backwards. I don't even know how to describe it. Because I'm almost kind of seeing the Two of Cups happening before the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups has to happen before you kind of find that relief from the Nine of Wands. But it all is ultimately rooted in the Empress, which is the self-respect, right? So everything is attracting everything else. So you have to be very cognizant and hyper aware of your actions, your thoughts, the way you're living your life, the choices that you choose on a regular basis, because they are all linked. In this reading, everything seems to be linked. Okay. And I feel like in the beginning of this reading, it was kind of discombobulated. I even got hung up on the very second card because I was like, where is this coming from? Well, now it makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, let's pull out the third row of cards. Let's see what else comes out. Okay, I'm going to double down on my feeling that this reading is going from bottom up. For some reason, I think that's the first time that's ever happened to me. I'm doing this for like 10 years. I think that's the first time this has ever happened. So it feels like it's going bottom up. Now, the Six of Swords is really about kind of a moving on, a transition. There's a spiritual evolution that happens. It's about taking a lot of the lessons that you've learned and taking the knowledge and the wisdom from the successes and failures and moving on to apply those lessons with new endeavors, okay? And I'm really seeing, again, it's very graceful. It's very smooth. It's non-dramatic. Like I say, nothing feels sloppy. Nothing feels messy. It's all just very dignified. There's this quality of finding peace, getting out of the tumult and moving into the paradise. Like, you've paid your dues, Aries. Whatever this lesson was, whatever this lesson has been, you've been through the muck, you've been through the worst of it, and now it's like it's coming to a close. It definitely feels like it's coming to a close. And I think there is an element of excitement, there's an element of passion that comes with that. Again, creativity, like a stroke of creativity. I wouldn't be surprised if something very powerful happened to you throughout the month of August. Not to mention that we do have a Mercury retrograde happening, which Mercury retrograde can often instill like a completely new way of thinking about things. It can be very out of the box. It can be highly creative as well. So it doesn't surprise me that you're going to be having, this moment of like this new desire, this new yearning, this new spiritual kind of awakening type of thing with that Ace of Wands. It doesn't surprise me. Now, a lot of this seems to be happening while you're just kind of living your life with the Knight of Coins. Like, you're just kind of living your life. You're doing what you do regularly. Because I'm not necessarily seeing Aries completely changing the way they're living their life, which is what I've been seeing for a lot of people. I see a lot of people, a lot of the Zodiac signs needing to go through this whole embodiment process and, this whole thing. I'm not saying you can't do that, but I don't know that there is anything in particular that you have to do, okay? What I'm looking at with the Knight of Coins is like business as usual. This is Aries just living their life. It's Aries just doing what you normally do. This transition is just naturally happening. And it's because you're just ready. I don't know, like it's like the universe says, okay, it's like kind of a divine timing type of deal. You're just ready to occupy the Empress throne. You've paid your dues. You've learned the lessons. You've been through the trenches. You've had the hardship. You've had the heartbreak. You've had the disappointment. You've had the failures. You've had all of it. And now it's time to take something from that and turn it into gold. Okay, it's kind of interesting that this whole diagonal is like a yellow. It's like a yellow diagonal. It feels very much like this is Aries' process of turning something to gold. It all kind of, actually, I kind of feel like it's more moving in this direction toward the Empress in the middle. You doing what you do, treating yourself with respect and having that gratitude, having that appreciation for what is going to be a really big step in kind of having that graduation moment. While you are doing what you're doing, that is the time that likely you are going to have that external influence, probably through a person. You're going to have that external influence come to you. They're going to show up. You're going to have that conversation. It's going to spark something in you. And then boom, we hit the Ace of Cups. And then boom, you find yourself freedom from the Nine of Wands. And then boom, you find yourself in the Emperor's throne. So again, it's very windy. This reading is very windy. And everything is dependent on everything else. So this is not a month for Aries to like say no to things. Even though, like, for example, a Two of Cups is not always the most convenient, because sometimes it requires you to like move your schedule around, to have a phone call, or to, go to lunch or dinner with someone, or it requires you to get out of your comfort zone. It requires you to think differently. It requires you to get out of your own way. This is not a time for Aries to have pride, right? This is the time for Aries to be, again, the word open was really strong for me in the beginning. So I'm going to come back to that, right? It's very open to receiving all sorts of information, because right now it feels like this information is here to help you get off that hamster wheel for good and find that relief from that problem that you've had in your life that you haven't been able to figure out in terms of how to solve it. But your self-respect, your valuing yourself with the Empress is really, really, really important. So make sure that you have enough self-respect to show up on a daily basis and do your tasks on an everyday basis, and make sure that you are living your life in an intentional, purposeful way. I don't want to see procrastination. I don't want to see avoidance. I don't want to see denial, because this is like a Virgo energy, and I just want to see it more like an Energizer bunny, like a machine. Just like wake up, do what you need to do, get the dirty work out of the way right away. You can have the evenings to do whatever you need to do for fun, but like it's kind of a time for you to show yourself how much this new lifestyle means to you by showing yourself how possible it is to respect yourself at the highest degree. Okay. And to let yourself be advised, let yourself be spoken to, and let yourself be taught, because I think there are lessons and there's really high quality stuff coming from the Two of Cups and the Ace of Cups. And again, it will inspire you to express so that you can find freedom from that Nine of Wands. This was never intentional, the Nine of Wands, right? Like I say, I think you were just protecting yourself. And I don't know if you know or not when that protection suddenly became a problem, but it seems to have been a problem for a long time, and now's your time to rectify it, okay? Kind of an interesting reading that kind of went in a really weird direction for me. So let's go ahead and pull out the clarifiers. So for those of you who are new, I'm about to pull out a whole bunch of new cards, and we're going to talk for like another 25 to 30 minutes usually. And we're going to talk about everything in the comprehensive reading, and the link for that will be found in the description box in the comment thread down below. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. So these three cards fell out while I was talking, so we'll use them to clarify the Nine of Coins. So we have the Nine of Cups, the Four of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. Okay. For the Nine of Wands, what does Aries need to know about the Nine of Wands? Beautiful. See, I knew those two were connected. I knew they were dependent on one another. Justice. And the Ten of Swords. Beautiful. I actually am really happy to see the Ten of Swords. All right, and we'll look at the Ace of Cups. Beautiful. High Priestess and the Four of Cups. We've got Hanged Man, Seven of Coins. If I can pick up the card, there we go. And Ten of Wands. Victory and success. Excellent. Five of Swords. King of Cups. We have Seven of Cups. We have the Queen of Coins. Five of Coins. Another Two of Cups. Another Eight of Wands. I'm really happy we're seeing the repeats because it doubles down on the message, reinforces it, and makes it stronger. The Moon. Knight of Coins, another Ace of Wands, and another Ace of Coins. Okay, I'm going to pull out one more just since we got a double of the Ace of Wands and a Fool card. Beautiful. Another Nine of Coins, Four of Coins, and Queen of Swords. Excellent. Okay, beautiful reading, Aries. This is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you all so much. I hope you have an amazing August, and I'll talk to you soon.